Welcome back. We're following the major breaking news right now. 3 U.S. sources telling CNN that a U.S. fighter jet was shot down over Iran, and we're getting this new image coming into CNN right now. This is an image published by the Iranian state media, and it appears to show a damaged fighter jet ejection seat on the ground. Look at that. A CNN analysis of this image indicates this seat is consistent with a model used in a U.S. F-15E fighter jet. The seat, which separates from the aircrew during the ejection process, appears to have sustained damage with a portion of its back structure missing. And we're also learning that President Trump has been briefed on this situation. Pamela.
All right, Wolf, let's bring in retired Lieutenant Colonel Amy McGrath. She's a former Marine combat fighter pilot, and we should note she's also running as a Democrat for Senate in Kentucky. Thanks for coming on. First off, what is your immediate reaction to this news that a U.S. fighter jet has been shot down in Iran? You just saw that picture there of the ejected seat. There's a search underway for the aircraft's crew.
Well, my immediate response is, or thought is, really thinking of the families of this of the aircrew here. Look, I have always felt like Iran it's a very big country. It's not the same as Iraq or Afghanistan. The administration has said that they have complete air supremacy and air superiority, and that the president has said, well, we've decimated their surface-to-air missile capabilities, but a lot of us who flew fighter jets and know this space, shall we say, are very worried that that is not the case. And I think that this sort of just shows that. This F-15 was apparently shot down, and, we're hopefully the ongoing operations will get this aircrew out of here, but I'm very worried.
Can you give us a little sense of the sort of training these fighter pilots get for situations like this?
Sure. We have the best training in the world for our fighter pilots. We all go through survival school, whether you're in the Air Force or the Marine Corps or the Navy, or even the Army. If you're going to be flying over enemy territory, you're going to go through survival school, in which you're trained on how to survive, but also how to survive a prisoner of war situation. So if you are alive after the ejection, which, the ejection itself is a very violent thing to happen to the body. So, hopefully these crew made it through the ejection. But if you are alive, you're trained on how to communicate to the search and rescue forces that are going to be coming. I mean, I think that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in military aviation. We've got friends out there that are going to come find us. And so even if you're not alive, we have mechanisms to, like beacons, shall we say, to find these the remains. So hopefully we will be able to get these aircrew back. But we are trained, and right now that's about as much as I can say, because it is a sensitive ongoing operation that you talked about earlier.
Yeah, we don't want to give too much away, certainly. My understanding is you were a combat pilot on an F-18. There's a lot of similarities between that and an F-15, which our reporting indicates was shot down there in Iran. To the extent you can, tell us about the sort of defenses these crew members have on their person when they eject from an aircraft over enemy territory.
Well, that's a great question. When, in an F-15E, it's much like the aircraft that I flew, and the F-18 Delta, we have a pilot and a weapons systems officer. And, when you eject, you don't have a ton of weaponry. You might have your radio to be able to call and have friendly forces try to find you. And you may have a pistol on you, and maybe a knife, and that's about it. I mean, there's just not a lot of room in the cockpit for extra stuff. So I would say another thing to think about here is, in ejecting over a place like Iran right now, think about the fact that we don't really know if the population there is for us or against us. And that makes it difficult. I mean, we had sort of this same thing in Iraq and Afghanistan as well. if you're going to be picked up by somebody who is going to turn you over to the Iranian, forces that are going to use you and capture you, or is the population happy that you're there and want to help you? That we don't know. And so anybody that gets shot down over that space is having to deal with that uncertainty.
It's interesting, Colonel. An anchor for Iran's official Fars news agency said a reward was being offered for anyone capturing a, quote, enemy pilot or pilots. How concerning is that for you?
Well, it's to be expected, right? And, anytime you are trained to go into enemy territory, you know that sort of thing is going to happen. The government there is probably going to do everything it can to find those pilots and weapons systems officer, and they'll do anything, they'll influence the population to try to turn them over. And again, we just don't know the status of that. The other thing is, where did this happen within Iran? Iran is a huge area, and people have to understand that Iran is the size, landmass of Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan combined. So you're talking a long way. If this happened, somewhere in the middle of Iran, then it's going to be very hard to sustain operations to try to find these aircrew. But if it happened closer to the coast, perhaps that's a better indication of our forces being able to stay on scene, shall we say, and try to get the folks back.
And on that note, there are search and rescue teams out there looking for this pilot or pilots. We just don't know how many crew members were on board. Typically, there are 2, but we don't know for certain. You mentioned the great thing about the United States, if you're in the military and something like this happens, you have friends that are going to come out there and look for you no matter what, no matter how dangerous it is. And I imagine from your point of view, this is about as dangerous as it gets for a search and rescue mission.
That's true. If an F-15 can be shot down, and the F-15 has some pretty significant mechanisms on board to try to prevent that from happening, chaff and, flares, for example, to try to be decoys if missiles are shot at it, for example. Some of the slower moving aircraft, C-130 that you saw, and the helicopters, they're much more vulnerable. So it is concerning, and hopefully we can find these aircrew and bring them back.
And the good news is that the U.S. has several air bases nearby, whether in Qatar or Kuwait or Saudi Arabia, not too far away, to get involved in a search and rescue operation. But this does, Colonel, represent a major escalation in the war with Iran right now. What do you project potentially this could mean for how much longer this war could go on?
Well, I'm very worried. I thought from the moment the president started this war that it was not going to be short. And the moment that Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz in this as a result of the president's actions here, that this was going to just escalate. And this is another indication of that. We sort of get used to, in today's day and age, drones being shot down, and we kind of don't think anything of it anymore. But I'll tell you what, when an aircrew gets shot down, it's real. And this is, unfortunately, many of us in the aviation community were very worried that this could happen. And now it has. So I think it's definitely an escalation. And I'm very worried about that. I don't see a way out for the United States right now that's easy.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel Amy McGrath, a retired Marine combat fighter pilot. Thanks so much for your expertise, and especially thanks so much for your service over the years. We appreciate it very much. We're going to stay on top of this major breaking news. Our coverage will continue right after this.
There's something about this place.
It's really our passion to share what we do with people like you.
Vive la France!
Eva Longoria, Searching for France, premieres April 12th on CNN and next day on the CNN app.
This is Alex.